Hi, folks. I thought I would just give you a little bit of a behind the scenes take on my fifth book. It's called Invisible Trust and it is available on pre-order. So I'm so excited that the book is available on pre-order. It feels a momentous day for lots of reasons. One of the things that I wanted to give you the context of, if you're new to my space, is that I've been running a club called 12 Chapters Club for the entire year. So the idea was at the start of the year, people signed up and they would get monthly reminders to remind them to write a chapter of the book or work on a chapter of the book or work on the book proposal. They could choose. They set their own goals at the start of the year. So for me, I definitely didn't write every single month. Some months I wrote more, and then obviously in this back end of the year, because I wanted to get the book ready to go out at the end of the year, which is in line with my goal of writing a book a year for 10 years on the way to a book deal. Be very brave and bold about that goal. I knew that I had to do some edits and some gentle shaping of how the book was going to come together after I'd done the messy bit of kind of spilling it all out on the pages. I didn't want to write a long book. I knew that. I knew that I wanted to give myself space to go really deep into vignettes of story. So that's how the book is shaped. The concept of the book is around reciprocity, and I've called it Invisible Trust because there is a lot of trust. Needed when you embark on anything new, especially in the online space. I pivoted my career from working in festivals and events. I've done that my entire career. And then in 2020, when I fell pregnant with my daughter in a worldwide pandemic, I just had this huge awakening that I wanted to do things differently. And I had no idea how I was going to do any of it, but I was very open to the opportunities that came my way. There were various different vision boards. There were various different things that I tried in the early days. And then in 2022, everything really took off for me with Substack. Substack at that time was a startup, and we're seeing huge names come over there now and have been seeing that for the last year or so. But at the time, it was a cozy corner of the internet that you could write in a long form way, and I absolutely loved the self-expression, the attention spans, the meeting colleagues from all over the world who were equally excited about writing in a space that had space and time for them. So it was a really beautiful time. And so I wanted to write the book to sort of track some of the earlier experiences in my life, right from childhood through kind of being a digital native, which I am, and I'm an elder millennial. I'm 44 now. So I wanted to track these experiences and talk about the context of them and how they've helped frame up my what now looks like confidence as a neurodivergent elder millennial woman who is quite the introvert. You wouldn't think it the way that I'm talking to camera now, but there's been a lot that's gone into me being able to hold myself in this way and to feel that sense of confidence and connection with my online audience while I'm just talking to myself in a room. So there are some beautiful vignettes that kind of drop you in story. In my story, there are lots of insights into collaboration and connection and some surprises in terms of what was happening publicly and then what was happening behind the scenes. There's also quite a through line of healing that's come out in the book. So I have been in regular therapy for about 18 months. Lots of different reasons, but one of the things that therapy enables you to do is really sit with your own voice. And so as a writer, I felt like it was very helpful for me to understand what my authentic voice wanted to say in a room with one other person. It was fascinating. And obviously a lot of that stuff is not for public consumption, but it's been a fascinating journey. So I wanted to give you that context as well in terms of that was kind of the parallel track as I was writing the book. So I'm not sure what's happened with the other members of 12 Chapters Club. I put out a little call out in October time and said I was going to leave that open as the last sort of the last chapter, like October, November, December. So if you are in the club, I'd love to hear from you and hear how it's all gone. Obviously, I'm very determined. I knew I was going to put a book out this year. I've done it in the 4 years previous, and I know the shape of that. Sometimes, your timeline will be a lot longer than that. Traditional publishing is a lot longer than that. So there's a huge permission slip to take up to understand what 12 Chapters Club has enabled for you. And if you want to jump in 2026, I am running it again in 2026. I'm going to run it with quarterly updates though, rather than monthly updates, because that was feeling a little bit much for people. And the idea is that you would take something that you'd already published and shape it for the book. And that might reveal itself, throughout the year, maybe in spring or summer. It might be some insight that you get in January. But I know that the book writing process was not linear for me. So the main insight that I got about what the book wanted to be was in April this year. So there was lots that went on in terms of writing stuff out before then, writing stuff onto my Substack, changing the relationship that I had with the document that I was working the book into, which was about April time when I decided this is like a whole closed shop that I just want to work on really privately. I've been writing with my friend Kate. We had a nice rhythm where it was sort of every other week for a period of time, definitely not the whole year, and we haven't kept to that rhythm all of the time. But it's been incredible to witness the amount that I'm able to get done on the book. It's also been incredible to witness how many excuses I'll make to myself not to work on the book. It's just fascinating. And this is all, I get excited about it because it's my unique creative practice. And it also mirrors to me that you will have your own creative practice when it comes to book writing, when it comes to doing any sort of bigger project like this as well. So, yeah, I just want to celebrate you, whether you've been in 12 Chapters Club, whether you're just hearing about it and you want to join in 2026 and witness that writing a book is a beautiful dance with ego. It's a beautiful dance with, your sense of how you feel seen in the world. It's a beautiful dance with imposter syndrome and will anybody care? Will anybody buy it? How will this feel? Obviously, because the book's self-published, it's on my terms, so I get to set the price, I get to set the deadlines, I get to set the pre-order price, and then the price that it goes up to. So I love the permission slip in all of that. This isn't a money-making venture. This is a creative adventure. Like that's what I've really felt about the book and making it something of value, both for the person who's buying it and also for me saying this is something that I value is a true gift. It is a true gift. It's like it's beautiful on your nervous system to be able to like test that and put it out in the world and see how you feel about it. But also it's that next step in the piece of the puzzle for me around this goal that I have about being traditionally published, and I don't even know what that book will be. So I've talked more about that in my Wholehearted Business newsletter over at Creatively Conscious. I do email regularly for 12 Chapters Club. Like I said, next year it's going to be quarterly. So if you do want to sign up, I'll put the link below. If you want to pre-order Invisible Trust, The Hidden Rules of Influence and Reciprocity Online by me, I would love it if you wanted to do that. It'll be delivered in ebook only. Again, that was a really difficult decision to make. I had wanted to print a certain number of copies of them, and I just decided I didn't have the capacity to get into international shipping this year, given everything that's happened. I think at the start of the year, we had no idea, did we? We had no idea that globally things were going to swell the way they have. And I just wanted to deliver something that was simple and easeful for me and for you. So if you're curious about online journeys, if you're curious about how an elder millennial has come to be doing this type of work and has built a six-figure business that she's very proud of, that's me, I've done that. I'd love to have you pre-order the book. There's a little digital gift that arrives 24 hours later if you do pre-order. And yeah, I'd just love to know what you think. So it'll be out on the 15th of December. So if you pre-order now, you'll get your copy on the 15th of December. If you're watching this video in the future, it'll be out in the world unless I've turned them off for whatever reason, if I decide to kind of make the copies limited, but I think it'll just be out in the world. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.